Wake up in the morning, I got homers on my mind. Pitching matchup, slug percentage, checking all the time. I'm going to work on that. We're going to have a parody come out. I feel good about it. More on that later. Let's talk about the positives. And there aren't a ton. Because we are in a downslide, a free fall. It's actually a free fall. It's not a slide. We're free falling. We have not, I looked at the past week. We've had nothing positive come out of this. And I looked in the mirror. I took the hard look at myself and I said, okay, again, what's the goal? What are you trying to accomplish? And we're going to make some adjustments again. And again, I know some of you may be tired of the adjustments. You may be rolling your eyes, but I do think as a sports bettor, as a content creator, both simultaneously, it's important to make adjustments. The positive is I gave 4 green ratings yesterday, 4 parks that I said, 4 games that I said, you should see a lot of home runs here. I was wrong about Toronto, but we had 5, 6, and 4 in the other games. So I will victory lap that prediction, although I didn't give you a single worthwhile pick from any of them. So again, maybe you guys just need to stop here and don't look anywhere to the right. Maybe sometimes over here. I feel like I put some good stuff over here. Right now, though, we're just ice cold. Another frustrating loss yesterday. We had the Yankees, we had the over. All 3 of those hit. Seattle, I said I liked the first 5, but my limits, I can't bet first 5 and get the full amount down because it's it's not a main line. So I had to take the actual outright money line. And wouldn't you know, they won the first 5 and they lost the whole game. So we did not win that bet. Frustrating. Knowing I could have just played all of these straight and came out ahead. But again, it's okay. We were playing a promo. It makes sense. I'm not making excuses. I did get a DM from somebody who played the first 5 and said thank you. So it's good to know that somebody was able to make something. We're down 11 units. Ugly, awful, disgusting. And so I'm making a personal adjustment today. We will talk about that later. But the long story short is I'm going to just shrink my units down a little bit and be a little bit more selective. As always, if you want to sign up for Novig, use my code. You get $25 bonus. They also have this cool promotion where if you bet 10, 25, and 50 markets for home runs, yes, to hit a home run, you get some bonus bucks along the way. We'll start with Tampa Bay. This is an early game. I think it's a promising spot with mid or average pitching plus good conditions. I think even Miami has a chance to put up some home runs in this one. Kyle Stowers, Jesus Sanchez at 470 and 480. Jonathan Aranda at 540. Yandy Diaz at 700. Those are just some suggestions, not official straight plays. Game in Philadelphia. It's going to be Pittsburgh. It's going to be a bullpen game for the Phillies, which means it's hard to handicap. I do think that right-handers are where you need to go for this one. So Nick Castellanos at 620 looks good. Andrew McCutchen, even though we don't know who is going to take a lot of the pitches for Philadelphia, I think that price alone for McCutchen, ignoring the pitching matchup, but given the park rating, park factors, wind, etc., I think 800 is a good price for McCutchen, regardless of who's throwing the ball to him. Game in Washington. I think there are lots of Texas right-handed bats against Michael Soroka who could crank, who could Soroka. They're going to rake. Why do we call it raking? Why is that a raking? I don't know. Langford is the official lean, 425. But again, you look through some right-handed batters on Texas and pick who you want because I think it's a good spot regardless. And then Rosario gets another start against a lefty today with Patrick Corbin. Rosario has seen Corbin over 30 at-bats. Bad news. Only has 3 hits. Good news. 2 of those 3 hits were home runs. So do with that information what you will. Part of me is scared. Okay, 30 at-bats, only 3 hits. Yikes. That's not a good ratio. 2 of those were home runs. Oh, okay. So when he gets a hold of one, he gets a hold of one. It's an idea. Game in New York. I like Will Warren's 6Ks. I don't like the price. It's minus 150. If it was minus 110, I would play it. I think the prices are fair, quote unquote, at best, meaning I looked at lefties for Boston and every batter for New York, and I just determined that there was no glaring value. But I do like Dominguez in the matchup at 560, and I will play Jazz Chisholm for 0.05 units on Novig, sort of to complete my challenge, but also I think his matchup against Walker Buehler is good. Game in Cleveland. I'm taking the over 8.5. We'll talk about for how many units and what odds I got it at, but I do think it's a good spot. Gordon is pitching for Houston, and Logan Allen, I believe, is pitching for Cleveland. I think there's a lot of bat to ball in this situation. I think right-handed batters for Houston are priced well versus a pitcher in Allen that they've seen. I'm shocked that Pena and Altuve are this good in terms of odds, 9-1. I will play both of them for what I usually do half. We'll talk about that in a second. Again, I shrunk my units today. And then Angel Martinez is interesting. Really been seeing the ball and hitting the ball well. Sort of a no-name guy, switch hitter, hits lefties better than he hits righties in terms of slugging. So at 8:30, for as well as much of a groove as he's in and his matchup, I think it's maybe worth a look. And Carlos Santana at 640. Game of Detroit, I like left-handed batters here. Kerry Carpenter's 5-1 on ProfitX. That's a good price for him. Riley Green, 600 on ProfitX. That's a good price for him. I don't love Chicago bats today against Skubal. However, Carson Kelly matches up pretty well with Skubal's stuff, and 850 is a good price. And then Seiya Suzuki is another lean at 6-1. Cincinnati, another one where you see a lot of opportunity for right-handed batters, and they're all priced about fair, in my opinion. They're all in that high 400s, low 500s range. So nobody stands out outside of Ellie De La Cruz at 425. Be careful if you take him on FanDuel. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's going on, but he's not listed on certain books. So that makes me a little nervous. I didn't dive too deep, but just be aware that he may not start. So just be careful there. Otherwise, if he's above 400, I think it's a good price. And then Perdomo, 11-1 on DraftKings is a great price for conditions that are phenomenal against a lefty. Again, this one, it probably should be green. Cincinnati has got me enough times that I'm a little hesitant, but looking at it, it could be a good spot, so take that as you will. Game in Chicago, I think left-handed batters are in play for either. Kyle Isbell, Drew Waters are some long shots. Vinny Pasquantino is a guy I've been on. His price is like low 400s today, so if you want to, if you're fine with that, go ahead. I think these two guys pose slightly better value, but again, it is a little bit of a long shot. I think the game in Milwaukee is sneaky because I think there's some good prices for subpar pitchings. Jackson Merrill, 420 on FanDuel. Jake Cronenworth, 8-1 on Camby. I did have Bryce Turang on Novig. He was plus 1,000, and then by the time I went to bet it, he was like 6 plus 650. So somebody took that. It was very plus EV to the market. Like 300 better than the next best book. So Turang has got a nice matchup today. And unfortunately, I did not act quick enough and get the good price, so I forgot to erase the Novik. So my apologies there. And then Christian Yelich at 550 on Camby, I think is good. I'm skipping the game in in Minnesota against Toronto. Pitching just got decided. But I think I flipped these. The Toronto pitcher was undecided. The point is, it's not a good park. Both teams, I believe, have traveled or are traveling. I didn't feel good about it. I'm skipping it. Game in St. Louis. LA comes to town. Conforto's the only guy I see with glaring value at 860. I really do like Wilson Contreras here at 560. Probably the only play I like from this game. Game in Colorado. I think you have a good spot with New York Mets left-handed batters. Brent Beatty at 740 is a good spot. Brandon Nimmo's price didn't look too bad. Juan Soto's going to be popular. Lindor is going to be popular. And I talked about Jared Young yesterday. This is a very lopsided matchup with the pitching. Cody Senga has been very, very good at not allowing home runs. Now it is Colorado, easier to hit home runs here. So, maybe you want to play that angle. I don't. I'm just going to stay off Colorado entirely. Game in LA, holy price gouging. Looks like a good spot. Pitching's not good. Matchups, weather. Like, I was excited to look at prices. I looked at prices and I'm like, everything is accounted for here. Cole Young, you may have seen the TikToks, the tweets, got called up, kind of won the game for him a few nights ago. 11-1 is the only guy. I mean, he's got to hit one sometime, right? Jack Caglione, also for Kansas City. If you want to play he's got to hit one sometime. Just parlay Cole Young and Jack Caglione. We're gonna have two major league first home runs today. Why not? Don't do that. Well, do it if you want. The game in Oakland is green all around. Pitching is poor. J.P. Sears and Drew Krimmer. I think a lot of guys could go yard in this one again. Brent Rooker and Denzel Clark at 355 and 900 would be my leans. But again, do whatever you want here. I don't know if you can really, quote unquote, go wrong. So as long as you feel good about it, trust your instincts. San Francisco Bay Area banishment, skipping it, not interested. Let's look at the official plays. On Novig at plus 108, I'm putting 0.25 units on the over in Houston and Cleveland. On Novig, I'm putting 0.05 units on Jazz to hit a home run. And as you will notice, the rest of my solo plays are 0.05 units. I suck, and I need to scale it back. Jeremy Pena, Altuve, Cronenworth, and Perdomo, all 4.05 units as straights. Now, my round robins, I'm also playing these, and I feel good about these. But again, I think I was betting too much. I was getting frustrated when I wasn't hitting, and so we're scaling it back. We're sort of having what we have been. Again, doesn't concern you necessarily, but I want to be honest. I want to be transparent about my thought process as a bettor, as one of you. I was getting frustrated, and if I'm getting frustrated and it's affecting my emotions, you're betting too much. So I've scaled it back. Christian Yelich, Ellie De La Cruz, Brandon Lowe, and Gary Carpenter. We're playing them by 2s, by 3s, and the total parlay. That could hit. I mean, look at that. That could hit. I'm saying that a lot, aren't I? Let's make a shirt. That could hit. Famous last words from Green Means Go. And then on FanDuel, another round robin by 2s, 3s, and 4s, and a 5-leg parlay. Jonathan Aranda, Jason Dominguez, Riley Green, Jackson Merrill, and Brent Rooker. That could hit as well. Today is a J day. Jazz, Jeremy, Jose, Jake, Jonathan, Jason, Jackson. Wow. Love you guys. Take care. I know you guys are liking this series. I did a lot of put my phone down and think yesterday. I did a lot of reflection yesterday. And you know, I'm in this interesting thing, and you can stop the video right now if you don't care. The information about baseball is over. I'm just going to give you like a personal update. A couple things that I just kind of processed yesterday is my content on TikTok is very different than content on YouTube, is very different than content on Twitter. I'm appealing to different audiences on each. Everybody who uses those apps wants different things. And so while I try to funnel all of my content into all three of those platforms, I'm realizing that different apps like different things. And I think there's things that I'm doing that are getting good views, getting good interactions, that are bringing back the same people. And then I kind of fear that if I do it again, it won't have the same results. And then I'll be like, wow, you know, I'm a failure, right? Like, oh, this TikTok got 20,000 views. But if I do it again and it gets 5, I'm going to be sad, right? I have that sort of battle in my mind. And I need to have the complete opposite battle in my mind. I need to say that video got 20,000 views. Why did it get 20,000 views? Can I replicate that? What did I do in that video? And how can I do it again and again and again? And so when I look at this series, this is the best video series I've ever done on YouTube, period. I get 1,000 views a day, which to a lot of people, that's dog water. That's horrible. But to me, that's a massive improvement from where I've been. So I'm thinking, you guys like this type of thing. How can I make this type of thing across disciplines? How can I repeat this to provide value across other things? So potentially NFL, we do touchdowns. College football, we do, you know, something, right? Like I can do this over and over. So again, while home runs will come to an end, I do plan, I'm already looking forward to the next thing, which is likely going to be the NFL and college football. How can I provide you guys value, make it fun, do something that provide information, do something that you guys will come back for, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to have you guys come back. I'm trying to check a box in your life. And that's kind of what I said. Where's my notebook? I left my notebook downstairs. But I kind of decided that you have to simultaneously be yourself while fulfilling a need in the audience's life. And for a long time, I was trying to fill a need in my audience's life without being myself. And so I think, I've had to take risks and do things that may or may not work by being myself until I find something that people like, and then I can just replicate that because I'm being myself and it's easy and it's fun. So you may see some videos on this channel that are completely off the wall, completely out of the blue. And you may say, well, that's not a home run, right? But I am in my infancy, and you guys are on Green Means Go early. You've bought stock early. You guys are going to look back when this channel has 100K. We're approaching 10K. When 100K views, and you're going to say, man, I was with Green Means Go before 10K, right? I saw the vision. And sometimes I doubt myself, and sometimes I don't always see the vision. But, we're going to do this. And so when I lose a ton of home run bets and I get frustrated, I have to remember the long-term goal is not to be a professional sports bettor. I've had my time. I've lost my accounts. And I need to appeal to an audience that is in it to maybe make a little money, but have some fun. So that's what we're going to do. I'll stop yapping now. Love you guys. Shirt stayed on today. Sorry to some of you. Sorry. We'll see you tomorrow.